With CDC internships coming up, this session will help us to get clarity on preparation strategies, profile roadmaps, and much more. We would be having a live Q&A session towards the end of the discussion. In case you have any queries, kindly note them down and we will address them in the Q&A session. So do stay till the end to get all your queries resolved.
I would now like to introduce everyone to today's panelists. First, we have Ms. Devaki Nandan Vardhineedi from BCG. She is also ex-Vice President, Technology Students Gymkhana, IIT Kharagpur. Devaki, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you, Utkarsh, for passing it to me. So for everyone, like I think most of the people attending are going to be the first, second, third years with whom like I rarely had interaction on campus. So talking about myself, so I'm Devaki Nandana, a recent graduate. Yeah, like that has been a recent change in my introduction, or else it used to be a final year undergraduate from the Department of Geology and Geophysics, enrolled in its integrated MSc course of applied geology. But now, yeah, I'm a recent graduate, and I also had a minor in economics and a micro specialization in entrepreneurship and innovation. And I had been a boarder of Mother Teresa Hall of Residence from Palakal. So as Utkarsh told, I have been the vice president of technology students in Ghana for the academic session 2021 and 2022. Also, I'm really happy to be part of this workshop today because I had been in your shoes, Rashi Utkarsh, like I think in my second year when I was a secretary at Communiqué today. It feels really good to be on the other side of the table. So I'm really looking forward for a great interaction with everyone. Yeah.
Thank you, Devaki. We are excited to have you on board. Our next panelist is Mr. Soumyajit Chakraborty, currently in TSMC, which stands for Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company Limited. Soumyajit, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Utkarsh and Rashi, yeah, for having me here. So, as Utkarsh introduced, so I'm also a recent graduate. Okay, I was there in the mathematics and computing. Okay, and I was there in Rajendra Prasad Hall, RP Hall. Yeah, really exciting to be here. Okay, okay. We also got all the fundas of CDC placement and internship from our seniors. Okay, from these seminars only. Okay, and now yeah, I'm here to give you all those informations. Yeah.
Thank you, Soumyajit. I welcome you to this panel discussion. Our third panelist, Mr. Ashish Gokarnkar, has got some urgent work due to which he could not make it to the panel discussion. Heartiest congratulations to all our panelists on their remarkable achievements. We are eager to learn from your experiences. Let's dive into the panel discussion.
So let's start today's session by enlightening our audience about the various job profiles on which students should focus their preparation before the internships, ways to choose the right profile, and the classification of profiles into core and non-core. Devaki, would you like to give your insights into this?
Okay, so talking about various profiles which are like broadly classified into core and non-core. So here I think like most of you would be knowing core is the department that you are part of. For the mechanical engineering students, it can be like mechanical engineering related jobs, and the core companies comes like Bajaj Auto and all. For the aerospace engineering people, the companies like Airbus. For the chemical engineering people, companies like Reddy's Laboratories, and they have Piramal and all, where they work on job related to core chemical engineering or the subject that they have learned throughout the years at their department. So for the department I was part of, that is geology and geophysics, the core departments included ONGC, Vedanta, ExxonMobil, and various other oil and gas companies that used to visit the campus placements and internship drive. Whereas like opportunities in core are limited when compared to non-core, because there are not so many companies in core department that you might be part of, but you do have some companies that visit. So that is like basic description about the core. And coming to the non-core profiles, which is like where you have, it's kind of 80-20 thing that happens, where where 80% of your opportunities hail from the non-core and 20% of your opportunities hail from core. This percentage may vary from department to department. Some departments like electrical engineering or EC, they do have more core opportunities. So yeah, non-core has these profiles, which are finance, consulting, analytics, and software, which most of the people focus on. Uh, since like we know this is the tech era where things are being built on AI, with like ChatGPT, Bard, and all being around, most of the opportunities are in the field of software where you will be building tech things. Apart from like the core software engineering, you have the tech roles and the data and all. So like data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence, deep learning, neural networks, and all. So like what I feel is, everyone, despite on whatever your interests are, you should have that basic tech education. Like everyone should know Python despite whatever your interests are. Everyone should know the basics of machine learning despite whatever your interests are, because whatever your interest, be it in finance, be it in consult roles, or be it in geology or anything, you will apply all these basics at one point or the other, since today's world is more focused around tech. Yeah, like non-core do have like lot of opportunities, where I think with the course of this panel discussion we will deep dive into each of these profiles, where we can give like deeper insights of each of these profiles. So I think like that is purpose, like the idea about core and non-core.
Thank you, Devki. Soumyajit, would you like to go next?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, so the broad idea, like Devaki already explained, so I just like to add something. So how to choose in which profile you have to go, right? So if you are, let's say, in your first year or second year, okay, you have still the time to explore all the things. Okay, you can try out different profiles. Let's say you do one machine learning project and do some software development work. Okay, do some mathematical thing to in the quant field. Okay, or maybe some consultancy stuff, some case study. Okay, so you have the option to explore. Okay, so when you will go in third year, fourth year, so this option will not be with you because you already have done your 2 years or 3 years, so it's kind of your CV is already built, right? That option is there in your first and second year. Now there are some things like software, quant, and data analysis. Like these profiles are kind of interchangeable. So if you are preparing for software, so you can go in quant, okay, or data analytics. That is not much of that thing. But let's say if you're preparing for software, you want to go to finance, now that is difficult, or in consultancy, that is really difficult. Okay, so these are the some things to keep in mind. Okay, other than that, APM role is also there. Okay, uh, so yeah, so maybe talk to your seniors that which role, in which role you have to do what. Okay, and you will find some matching with your inclination and all. Yeah, that's it.
I think I just want to add a point here. As Soumyajit rightly pointed, the journey starts with selecting your profile, and which is very crucial part of your entire journey. And this is like toughest part as well. Many people find it difficult, especially in the early years of KGP journey. Everyone will have that inclination for data science, or like where people might have inclination for core and all. So as Somnijit rightly said, first and second years are completely for exploration. At the end of first year, people suggest this Andrew NG course, which we sit and browse throughout the summers. I think 80% of us might have done that Andrew NG course. Like later, we all might have applied for projects under the professors of IIT Kharagpur, that typical professors of computer science department or industrial department department. So we all know the names as well now, like they're applying for projects under them. So this is all part of the exploration where people try their hands on weight like machine learning, data science, and all. At the same time, like a core is something that you'll gradually explore when you get into your department from your second year, if you're getting interest in that or not. So many people, like, they do have that very specific inclination towards their core right from the beginning. They do pursue these research internships, who have this gradual plan of getting into either core companies or the research profiles, or pursuing higher studies in future. Yeah, I think that gives a fair idea on core and non-core.
Thank you, panelists. That will surely help our audience make informed decisions and explore through the varied amounts of profiles that they have in front of them. Now that we have come across different work profiles, I would like to ask the panelists about different ways and resources to apply for an internship. Soumyajit, would you like to go ahead?
Okay. So the ways for apply to internship, right? So first one is the on campus. Okay, that is your CDC internship. Okay, and try hard for it, because believe me, on campus and off campus are both different thing, at least for SD and quant, those roles. Because when you are in on campus, the company is coming to you and to take you, because the requirement is of the company. But in off campus, the requirement is of you. Company don't need you right now. Okay, otherwise they would have come for on campus. So inside company also, they prefer on campus first. Okay, that is the thing. So keep this in mind and try to get in on campus only. Okay, now for the off campus thing, so LinkedIn is there, but you know it's very difficult nowadays that you apply in a career page or in a LinkedIn job post and you get the result, you get some interview call. It's very difficult nowadays. Okay, uh, so company portals is there, yeah. Alumni connection is there, yeah. This is the success rate is greater here. So if you know some seniors of yours who are 2 3, let's say at least 2 3 years senior than you, you can ask in their company to refer for some uh, that thing, uh, internship thing. Okay, and believe me, it is, if in off campus now, the connection is the main thing. Like if you get the interview call, then it is easier than on campus. Okay, because in on campus you have that like very much competition with all those people. But once you get, let's say by a referral, you get the interview call, now it is easy than on campus. But referral is the main thing. Okay, yeah, some platforms are there, LinkedIn, uh, Intern Sala. Okay, some portals are there, they also work sometime. Okay, so I will tell you another hack here. Okay, which may increase your rate of success. That if you, let's say, blindly apply in many companies, okay, it will not work like that, because some company, let's say, they do not ever take from off campus. That is their company policy. Now you are applying on those portals, that will not help. But you go to some seniors portal, some LinkedIn profile, and see that if that senior has done some off campus internship or not. Okay, and let's say in some company he did, so that is the company who takes off campus internship, apply that company. Okay, and talk to that senior also, because once that senior is there doing internship in that company, he actually knows that whom to mail. Okay, if you mail the wrong person also, you don't get the interview call. But the main HR who is actually recruiting, that senior will know, because after doing the internship you know everything, like at least about the team. Okay, that is one thing. Otherwise, sometimes what happens that, let's say some company is there who is opening some new office in some town. Okay, uh, then they hire a lot of people. At that time, if you hit that particular HR at the right time, you get the call. Okay, another thing to notice that, let's say when you get the news of your some friends that your friend is selected in some company. Okay, that means that that company is hiring right now off campus. So as soon as possible, contact that HR that your friend connected, and most probably you will also be selected in that case. Okay, so recently actually some of my friends were selected in Nomura, in Berlin office. So it was that they were opening a new office in Berlin, and like 3 4 people are continuously selected. Okay, after that they stop. So these are like some hacks. Yeah, Like Devaki can add something.
Yeah, I think Soumyajit has told the most powerful hack for on campus and off campus both. As he rightly mentioned, give your best shot for the upcoming CDC internship drive, which is going to be the on campus drive, because the on campus offers, as Soumyajit told, the companies are coming to you as they have the requirement, and you do have most security as well, since it is through an official channel, which is Career Development Center IIT Kharagpur. So you do have more security. You do have this fixed process where you just need to apply on a portal. You'll get a shortlist. Like then you may need to appear for a test and another shortlist, and then a group discussion maybe, and then another shortlist, and then interview and another shortlist. The process is kind of standard. You do have this technical round, group discussion, and personal interview, and HR rounds for some companies. Whereas off campus, the process will vary from company to company. Like you need to go and apply on the company's portal for most of the firms. Like almost every company or startup do have this career section or join our team section on their website, where they do keep this open positions. But I think across the years, I rarely see internship positions on their portals. Like the MNCs, like the big corporates, do have internships on their portals, but startups mostly have the full-time roles on their portals. And the application process, or whatever the process, will completely vary from company to company, how they are going to handle it off campus. So you need to approach multiple POCs, and then how they are going to schedule the rounds, be it like technical rounds or then interview rounds, or you rarely have group discussion rounds on camp off campus things. So yeah, now we'll have a clear division over here. What to do if you are choosing a core profile, what to do if you are choosing a non-core profile. If you are choosing a core profile, then you do have limited options through CDC. Like you do get limited companies through CDC, you the best shot. So like make a good resume, upload on the portal, like whatever. Like you in CDC, you need to make the resume on ERP itself. So yeah, put your efforts into making a good CV, apply for the companies, brush up the basic things that you need to know for the company. Your seniors will guide you through that process. For example, if you are applying for Bajaj Auto, talk to the seniors who have recently done their internship at Bajaj Auto. They'll help you which subjects you need to prepare or whatever you need to brush up for the interview. Give the best shot. Even if you're like not able to make it for a core company on CDC, you do have this off campus gates open for the core companies. As Soumyajit rightly mentioned, go through your seniors profiles or get the companies, like make a list of target companies which may possibly hire off campus. Then like make a mail body according to the company, mail the right point of contacts, or you can also apply through their career portals, or you sometimes find the opportunities here and there. You just need to keep your eyes wide open for the core opportunities. Apart from the core corporate internships, so if you are interested in core, applying for research internships is another great option you do have. MyTax is one great thing which you can do if you are interested in core. So, like for the people who doesn't know what MyTax is, I think Soumyajit will give. Soumyajit, can you step in here and give the funda of MyTax? So how the application process and all will be? I think you have a better
Yeah,
idea about that.
yeah. So I'm also not an expert, but yeah, I will tell you whatever I know. So it's like these are research internships, okay, and core and research internship, they are like very near, okay, and there are many actually such programs. You know about the Dad Wise program, MyTax is there, EPFL is there, okay. So in this, these are like posted by the universities, like the EPFL university, okay, and they take internships, and the success rate is quite good. So if you have good uh, knowledge about your core, you will get selected, okay. And these are very much value adding to your CV. The next year when you sit for placement and everything, it will be very helping. And like the selection process, it's like you have to apply in their portal. Okay, the deadline will be there, fill up everything, there will be one SOP, your CV, LOR will be there. That is very important in research internship. You have to contact your professors to give some LOR. Okay, and all these things, and then they will take your interview, and it will proceed. Okay, but in dad wise, remember one thing. So dad wise is the kind of program where you have to find your German professor. It is only for Germany. So you will select your professor from other means and tell that professor that okay, my funding will be done by this dad wise. Okay, so when you are applying in dad wise, at that time you should have a professor of Germany. So that is one mistake that many people do. They don't know that okay, I should have contact the professor by myself. Okay, so first contact the professor well before, like, at least like 2 months before the dad wise deadline, then apply in dad wise. Okay, yeah, these are the things.
Yeah, so like everyone, if you are interested in core or like aligned towards research, like make note of these two prominent names, which are MyTax GRI and Dadwise. And then like these are some easy way out. Like many people, since I have said like core opportunities are less, you may or may not end up having a corporate core intern at your hand by the end of your say third year or fourth year. But then like these are some valued, really renowned opportunities that you have at hand, that doing a really good research internship at a really renowned university across the world. And now talking about the non-core opportunities, you do have a lot of companies that visit the campus through CDC Drive, which are like software profile or data science profile, or some companies do visit in finance profile, consult profile, product and business analyst roles. Again, for these companies, keep your CV ready, brush up with your preparation, and like don't leave any stone unturned, be it your preparation or your HR preparation or your communication skills, the way you present yourself, everything. Just be cool and calm and give your best shot in the campus drive to get that CDC offer, which is way more secured. Even if you are unable to make it through CDC, again, for the non-circuital departments, it may be a bit difficult to get an offer through CDC, since you need to clear the cutoffs like CGPA cutoff, and some companies are not open for non-circuital departments and all. Then you do have this resort, the off-campus resort, which is being presented on the screen. Again, Soumyajit has told the most powerful hack, the seniors, LinkedIn stalking. So I think like LinkedIn stalking has proved itself the most powerful over the years. Stalk your seniors profiles, like where they have done off-campus internships, try to get contacts from them, or you can it's a very easy thing that you can do if you are like willing to explore or do really something good in software, is apply for startups, which are like really fast paced environment. Like you get to work in the fast paced environment, and the success rate will be high when compared to MNCs off campus hiring. Startups off campus hiring is rather more successful. So you can apply in the startups through your cold mailing. So prepare a really good mail body. Like you can make slight changes when it is moving from company to company. Have a good CV, have a good cover letter. Like you can mail the HRs, or like if it is an early stage startup, pre-seed startup or seed startup, you can mail the founding team. They, like if your profile is impressive, they will take into the startup. Then company portals for top MNCs. Yeah, I think we have covered company portals, research programs, and then alumni connections also. 2 to 3 years seniors, like or people who have graduated at least like 2 years before, like can give you a referral in the companies. The really like the people who are really freshers, yeah, they can refer you for the entry level roles, but for high level roles, like at least like 2 years experience will help with their referral. And then internship platforms like LinkedIn, Indeed, Internshala. Yeah, like what here there is another hack. If you come across some opportunity on LinkedIn or Internshala or Indeed, you will see that there are already more than 200 applicants or 150 plus applicants. How will you actually get noted in that 150 plus applicants to 200 applicants? Obviously you will apply through LinkedIn, through that easy apply thing or something, but make a note of that company. For example, it is ABC startup has posted for say some finance intern, so make a note of that company, like skim through that company's LinkedIn page, find out the people in their talent acquisition team, and try to mail them your CV, cover letter, and like your profile. So this can improve your chances, because these platforms or the job posts over there will let you know, okay, this company is having an opening that will match your interest. So now it is your way, like how will you get yourself into the eyes of the recruiter? Do apply through the portal, but at the same time, like since there is an opening, go and try to mail them as well. Try to get into the eyes of the recruiter. As Soumyajit rightly mentioned, when you land up at the interview for the off-campus internships, yeah, it is quite uh, probable that you will land up with an offer at hand if you perform decently. Then personal contacts, you can keep talking to your seniors, like if you're to explore your interest, when you find your niche profile which you're interested in, so you can talk to them with the previous internships they have done, get the contacts and all, which was already discussed. I think these are different ways to apply for internships. uh, and on top of everything, what actually matters, which is like another layer, you will obviously try all these ways. Another layer is your time. So many people, they do delay it till say March or April. Then the deadline like actually comes near. So now you have your summer internship from May, and then you realize in March or April that you don't have an offer at hand. So you will have that pressure on you, which is like, okay, I need to crack it within 2 months. So then you need to update your CV quickly, or like start making your mail body, cover letter, gathering contacts, mailing HRs. So that will be a really great hustle in the month of March and April, where you do have these holidays or and some examinations on your head. What I say is, be early in the race, try to do it as early as possible, so that will help you like be like schedule the things accordingly. That will help you be very free and comfortable. So if you are able to schedule the things or plan the things, and if you are able to pull out according to the schedule, so that will actually help you. That is what at least I used to do. So during my third year and fourth year, when I was trying for off campus internships, I used to like make certain schedule for myself. Okay, for the winter internship, I'll start my applications at this timeline. If there are some research programs that I want to apply, like ISB, they have this Center for Analytical Finance. Their applications close by the end of September for winter internship. So I used to put everything in an Excel sheet. Okay, these are the opportunities that I want to mail. This is the thing I'll do in August. These are the things I'll do in September. And then in October, you do get this Durga Puja vacation. So what will I do in Durga Puja vacation? Is it some upskilling thing, or should I update my CV at that time, or should I gather more contacts, talk to some seniors? So that is like some special schedule for Durga Puja vacation. And then these are the things I'll do for November, and all these things to land up an offer for December, which is like winter internship. And then again, like you will start your schedule afresh from January for your summer internship. These are the things I'll do in Jan, Feb, March, and you should have an offer ultimately at your hand by the end of April. So try to plan the things and try to put your efforts, and your seniors will always be there to help you to catalyze the process. I think that's it from my end.
That was great. Thank you. These are some extensions that you can use for cold mailing. And yes, do not forget to put your signature at the end. So moving ahead, let us get the idea about what can be the best way to build a good CV. What is to be included and what is to be prioritized. So Amjit, would you like to begin?
Yeah, yeah. So while making the CV, right? So I'll specifically talk about the SD and quant and data analytics profiles. Okay. So let's say for SD, your most important like sections are your internships and projects. Okay, those are the most heavy things. If they see that you have two internships or two projects, like it is really impressive. Okay, if you don't have projects, you can do self projects. Okay, like you in Udemy or any other platform, you can find many courses on self projects. Follow that course and implement everything. Like you will just write your code by seeing the course only, and then for certificate you can contact any professor, that so your professor that okay, I have did this things, can you just give me a written certificate or kind of thing. Okay, so that will help. Now as I mentioned, that focus most on internship and project thing. Okay, now another confusing thing is the ordering of the sections. Okay, so you decide for yourself that which are the sections that are most strong for you. Okay, first one should be the internships, then the project, or internship and project, the club one. But next, after that, let's say there is POR, there is extra academic activity, there is awards. So those things you sort according to your strength. Like for SD, there is not much work of POR. Okay, so that is there. Okay, maybe for consultancy, the POR should come at the top. Okay, those things you have to select for yourself. Okay. uh, yeah, and other things I will talk in do's and don'ts. Okay, that's it for now.
Okay,
Okay,
so
thank you so much.
I'll I'll take
Yeah,
on a
Devaki,
little bit for consult CV. I think for a consult CV, you need to have certain spikes. Your spikes can be your exemplary leadership roles that you might have taken during your college, be it like anything. So, any position that you might have held during the college, which is noteworthy and where you have showcased your leadership skills, or any achievement in sports and games, social and cultural, technology, like be it some national level, international level, or inter IIT level. So that will be considered as a spike as well. So academic, your CGPA, which is a cutoff. So that matters as well. And talking to your internships and projects, if you're having a really good internship in a renowned firm or a famous university, so those will be considered as spikes as well. This concept of spikes in consult shortlist, because for a consult profile, your CV is your ticket to the interview round. Because if you're not getting a CV shortlist, then you're like not into the game anymore. So CV plays a very crucial role. You need to put in as much time and efforts you can put into your CV to give the best version of yourself, because it is really important how you are going to put your entire 3 years or 4 years of your college life into that CV. Prioritize things. So if you are having a really good PR which will make you stand out from the crowd, put PR section at the top. Like no one will stop you from putting PR section at the top. And chronology will not matter in consult CVs. So generally, there is a notion that you need to put the recent internship at the top, or recent project at the top, recent PR at the top. That doesn't matter. If you're having a really great PR, like put it at the top. If you're having a really great project that you did at the end of your second year, in say some foreign university, at the end of your third year, put it at the top. There was a senior of mine who had this inter IIT achievement, inter IIT, some two or three gold in inter IIT in a single year. He has in fact put that on the top of his CV even before the education wala column. he has taken that risk, and the interviewer actually asked him why did he put that on the top, even like not putting his department CGPA on that, like prioritizing this over that. So then his answer is he just wanted to leave no stone unturned to make that short list. It is that spike of him which he felt will give him a short list, but not his CGPA or not his department. So that what made him put it at the top. That shows his enthusiasm or the eagerness to get that short list. See, you are the one who will present your CV to the interviewer, who will defend your CV to the interviewer. So whatever the actions you are going to take in your CV, so it is that one page that you are going to have. Use it wisely, and like for whatever the things or whatever the order you are putting, so be confident, have that uh, really well framed reasoning why you are doing certain thing. If you are mentioning internships at the top, so you need to be ready for the answer why internships at the top, or like why PRs at the top. So I think that pretty much sums up about consult CV. It is the concept of spikes where you need to highlight all your uh, topmost achievements during your college, and that will land you with a consult CV shortlist.
Thank you, panelists. That was really helpful. We also have a blog regarding the same by Mr. Divyam Sharma. We highly recommend our audience to explore this content at your convenience. We'll be putting the link in the chat box. Now, we would like to hear from the panelists regarding the importance of CV, the weightage that should be given to each section, and the role of vocabulary and do's and don'ts in making the CV stand out. Devaki, would you like to start with giving your suggestions for consulting and product profiles?
Okay, so I think like I just defined up some set of things for the CV. I'll add upon like a couple of points. Uh, so your CV should be first thing impact driven.
Hmm.
Try to focus on the impact you have created during anything that you have done. So, be it the position of responsibility that you might have held during college, what the value you have added to that organization or society, what is the impact you have created. Or during an internship, rather than focusing on, I have used this technology or this technology, that might help you in the software field. Like for your software CV, you might need to have all these technologies on your CV. But for a consult or management CV that I am specifically going to talk about, it should be impact driven. Try to focus upon how the work you have done has added value to the firm. For example, you might have made a landing page to the website which might have increased the click rate by say XX percentage. So that is the impact you have created. Or that might have increased the revenue by XX percentage, or might have increased the sales by XX percentage. So try to focus on the impact everywhere. So first thing, like to make note of is CV should be impact driven. And second one is you need to show your consistency. So consistency means like how you have put yourself uh, right from your first year. So your profile, like, okay, this is my journey of first year. First year have been involved in this extracurricular things, or you will say that PR section may that years will show that okay, the person is involved at these places in the first year. At the end of second year, you need to have either an internship or project which shows okay your CV is having something from your second year as well. And third year some PRs or projects, internships, okay, that covers your third year as well, and fourth year as well. So like, and your CGPA and all these things, they do show the consistency that you have maintained. So apart from impact, the second thing that you need to really concentrate is the consistency. Apart from this meaning of consistency, there is another meaning as well, which you need to like maintain that constant thing during the CV. Like for example, if you are using ampersand for and in your CV, keep it constant throughout. If you are using a spelling LAKH for lack at one place, keep it constant throughout your CV whenever you're mentioning some amounts. If you're using million at a place, then use million throughout the CV. So whatever the terms you are using, keep it constant. So for example, at one place I have mentioned that I have handled a budget of say 1 lakh. Then like at another place also I'll mention, okay, I have helped the company to improve their sales by 2 lakhs. It is not like I have mentioned 1 lakh at other place and at the second place I have used 0.2 million. So try to have that consistency as well, which will help you. And then talking about this vocabulary and all, use these action verbs, like not using this same verbs like worked on, developed. So people generally use the same verbs for almost every line in their CV. Yeah, as it is presented on the screen, we do have this set of verbs which will help you enhance your CV. This vocabulary is something, if you have made your CV some, say on a scale of 10, your CV is looking some 7 or 7.5, a good vocabulary will make your CV stand out. It will help you to increase that rating by say 1 or 1.5. So why leaving that behind when you can actually do with the help of these beautiful verbs? And talking about the platform where you need to make your CV, I think for the campus internships and placements, you do have this ERP portal where you can make your CV, or else you do have these portals like Overleaf, which I used to prefer generally. Uh, like it is a good platform where you can adjust the spacings and all accordingly. So keep yourself like habituated for overleaf right from your second year, or like the first CV that I have made was on Overleaf. So I always used to try new templates on Overleaf, used to update my CV regularly. Updating CV regularly is a really good habit one should have, because during your college life, the first CV you make and the final CV you make for your placements will have a lot of difference. Many things keep on adding. So we make yourself a habit of updating your CV. I think this is the standard format that they have mentioned: personal details, objective educational details, scholastic achievements, coursework, skills, work experience, projects, extracurricular. So for a consult or management thing, you can follow any order, have an impact driven CV, show your consistency throughout, use good action verbs and good vocabulary, and use it like you can make on good platforms like Overleaf. I think, yeah, I have pretty much covered everything related to CV.
Thank you, Devaki. That was really insightful. Soumyajit, please take over with the software part now.
Yeah. So yeah, please go to the do's and don'ts section. That's right. Yeah. So specifically talking about SD. So while selecting for the test, right? So you are shortlisting for the test. At that time, big MNCs they don't read your CV manually. Okay, they run some like they have their portals and that will extract all the keywords from your CV automatically. Okay, so in that case you have to remember that you have to include all the keywords. Okay, so this happened to me that I have made all the whole CV for my SD role in my internship, and then I realized that I have not included the term data structural algorithm in my CV. Can you just imagine? That CV will never be accepted in any MNC. You have to include those terms. You can either include in the skills and that skills section, or let's say if you're applying for a data analytics role, you have to include machine learning, deep learning, those terms. Okay, you, so many times it happens that okay, I'm not very confident in deep learning, should I write that? You have to include that word. Maybe you can write that okay, beginner level or intermediate level, but that's what has to be there, otherwise you'll not be shortlisted for the test. uh, okay, that is there. Okay, so in the do's and don'ts, if like I request the audience to read this page carefully. Okay, so use tables, format should be 9 to 10. Okay, provide contact details. Okay, use at least 75% of each line. Okay, so that means so you have to cover the whole line. Okay, Don't like you write up to the half and the other half is blank. Okay, that should not happen. In fact, I would not say it's 75%. Try to cover 90%. Okay, that will look even good. Okay. Okay. So other things, yeah, many times we forget to write our own achievements. Okay, there are a very small achievement you sit and remember. Okay, maybe in your school days you did some workshop or some project. Write that as well. Your NSS or NCC that you have done, your JE rank or KVPY rank. Okay, write all those things. Okay, if you have department change or anything. Okay, your department rank, everything. Okay, just remember everything and include that in your CV. Okay, to start the action word, so Devaki already told. Okay, uh, yeah, okay, just let me see. Yeah, so another thing is that in SD profile, while interview, okay, in interview in big MNCs, they also don't read your CV that much. Okay, they just have a look at your CV and just look that if it's looking good or not. If it seems that you have done much work or not, they're not gonna read your projects line by line. Okay, maximum question that can have is that okay, I can see this project in your CV, can you just explain me the project? That is the question you will get. Okay, now in data science the case is actually opposite. In data science they don't ask you. So in SD what will happen, they will just throw you some data structure algorithm questions. If you can solve it, good enough, otherwise you are not selected. Okay, so it may sound rude but that is the case. Okay, in data analytics the case is opposite. They will not ask anything randomly. Okay, they will go through your CV. Okay, so by data analytics I mean the companies like Microsoft data analytics, okay, Mastercard, Adobe, those who have the data analytics rule. Okay, so they will go through your CV and they will only ask the question from your CV and they will drill you a lot. Okay, so it's like if you have written, let's say, RNN inside deep neural network, they will ask you what is RNN, okay, and how it works, and if you have used in that project like this, what if you change this parameter like that, how do you think that the accuracy would increase? Okay, all these drilling question will come in the data analytics profile, the machine learning or deep learning profile. Okay, that should keep in mind. And also remember to bold the numbers or any framework, particular framework that you have used. Let's say you have used that MongoDB database or anything that is important thing, you make that bold so you can see in my CV also. Okay, those things. Yeah, and don'ts, just read the don'ts also. And do not do any spelling mistake or those kind of mistakes in your CV. That is very bad to you. Okay, use grammarly for that. Yeah, those are the things. Yeah, passive, do not like write in passive voice. Yeah, those are the things. Yeah.
Thank you, Soumyajit. Now, moving ahead, panelists, can you please share some important tips and hacks to be followed to ace an interview? Soumyajit, please go ahead.
Yeah, so for the interview, yeah, I already talked a little bit for those things. Yeah, so as I told you in SD roles, only the DSA questions will matter. Okay, so there are some topics also which are specifically interview driven. Let's say the linked list, okay, and uh, object oriented programming. Oops, okay, those are the things which are interview specific. They are not asked in normal coding questions. Okay, I told you about the data analytics thing. Okay. Yeah. So there are some companies which may ask from your CV in SD role also. Like I had in my Square Point interview, they asked me from Git and GitHub something. Okay, that how Git is working. It was written in my CV. That's why. Okay, Credit Suisse also asked me. So my intern was in Credit Suisse. So in Credit Suisse, they just asked me to explain one project. Okay, that is the maximum thing you have to uh, tell. Even they did not do any cross question also. Another important thing is that while solving a coding questions, okay, so let's say interviewer asked you the question and now you are thinking. So if you know how it works, that it will take minimum 2 to 3 minutes to think about the solution approach. But you cannot be silent for 2 to 3 minutes in the interview. So that is called you have to think loudly. Whatever you are thinking, tell that. Okay, so I'm thinking that's okay, I can take this variable and I can do this thing with the array, and did that thing. If you, let's say, go in the wrong path also, tell that, okay, I think no, this solution will not approach, let me go back and try something else. So you have to continuously keep speaking, otherwise you will not be, not get, let's say you are silent for 3-4 minutes and then you come up with a solution, okay, now I get the solution, this is the solution. That will not help. Okay. And in the HFTs, okay, so that will be there in the day one and the first half. In the HFTs, they don't expect you even to solve the question. Okay, so these are some inside information I'm telling you. Okay, so those who have done the internship, they ask their like teammates that, okay, you asked me this question, did you even expect me to solve this, because this is too damn difficult. One cannot solve that. Okay, I told you, no, I did not expect that you will solve it. I just wanted to see your approach. So in that case, you have to try hard that whatever you are thinking, tell that to your interviewer, and he will give many like hints also to you. And he wants that by taking the hints, you go forward. Okay. So these are the things to keep in mind. Okay. Other than that, I would like to know that if the interview is going to be offline or online this time, maybe it's, someone can let me know in the chat. Okay, because that is pretty different. Like in offline, you have to take care of many things. You have to have foods with you because you have to be there for 12 hours. Okay, and ask some of your friends that to check the mails. Okay, because every now and then companies will release some extended shortlist. Okay, and maybe you miss some shortlist, you'll not go to that company. That is a big loss. So ask your 3 to 4 friend at least that check my name in every email. Okay. uh, yeah, I think those are the things. uh, yeah, another thing is about the HR questions. Okay, so there are 7 to 8 common HR questions asked in the SD roles. Like prepare them beforehand. Let's say they ask you about your weakness, it's not that you'll start actually telling your weakness. Okay, that I cannot do teamwork, don't tell that. Okay, so there are some framed answer for that. Tell that only. Okay, those should be prepared. Yeah, and while let's say they ask you, are you a team worker or not? Obviously, you are gonna say yes, but you have to give a proof behind that. Okay, like that. Let's say in this project, I worked with these 4 people, and this conflict arose, and I managed this thing. I took this decision. Like this, with your past experience, back your answer. Okay. Yeah, those are the things.
Thank you, Soumyajit. Devki, would you like something?
Yeah, I think Samvijit pretty much covered everything, but adding my 2 cents to like how to ace an interview, first and foremost, your confidence and communication skills. Because you might be having a hectic day, or you might have given a lot of interviews on, say, some particular day of your CDC internship drive or placement drive. But try to keep yourself energetic, calm, confident. So whatever will keep you calm, confident, like try to do that. Like have lots of water, or whatever this short break that you would like to take that. But be calm and confident during your internship, or during your interview. Sorry. So being calm in the sense, you need not hurry over the things, because sometimes when you're like in a rush, so you may fumble with your words. That destroys your entire communication. So try to keep your mind calm. So be very much consistent with your thoughts. Whatever you're willing to express, try to express it with confidence. And especially for consult interviews, the major thing that everyone would say is keep your interviewer engaged. So, as Samvijit also mentioned, so you need to constantly speak out whatever you're thinking. For example, if you are asked to solve a puzzle during your interview, the actual answer of that puzzle may matter a certain percentage, but your th- thought process will matter even more in most of the interviews. So try to keep interviewer engaged. Tell him or her how you are thinking. So you can start saying, "Ki, okay, the problem statement, I'm just repeating it to make sure that I got it right. And then you can move ahead saying that, okay, I'm willing to solve this using these steps. Then you can take them ahead with your approach. Keep them engaged during the process, which is like really important. And talking about like specifically consult interviews, the additional brownie points which you can get are through your industry knowledge. Say, for example, you are asked to solve a problem in e-commerce industry. For example, particular company is facing a decline in sales through their company website or mobile app. How will you solve that? So obviously you will go ahead with your approach. You will tell the reasons which you might have thought would have decreased the sales of that company. Apart from that, if you are having industry knowledge about the e-commerce industry, uh, will add you brownie points. For example, any recent happenings in the e-commerce industry, are there any certain government regulations? So you can mention that during the interview. So I think I have heard of this recent government regulation in India for the e-commerce industry, or recent changes in BNPL, so the cards and all, like NBFCs. So I think this recent change in the banking sector might have impacted the customers' sales online and all. So if you are adding this kind of points during your interview, that gives the interviewer an impression that you're pretty much updated with the industry knowledge. So now, how can you get that industry knowledge? Because in consult interviews, yes, your industry knowledge will add brownie points. So how to get that is very simple. Keep yourself thorough with some blogs or podcasts. So you do have this famous blogs or podcasts from the Ken or the Fin Shots and all, which many people regularly follow. So you can keep yourselves regularly updated through any blogs and podcasts. If you are a podcast person, like you can listen to podcasts on a regular basis, or you can read the blogs when you are having that time in between your classes or in between any activities. You can read through the blogs. But yeah, this will surely help you to ace your interview, especially consult interview, having that industry knowledge. And don't ever hurry in your interview. Even if you have made a mistake, it's fine. I remember, I think like I have attended a panel discussion of similar sort where the person had mentioned me. So it was an offline interview. The person was asked to solve some puzzle. After certain point, the person understood that he has taken a completely wrong approach. So what he has told the interviewer is, so I think I have taken a wrong approach. Can I just turn the page and start it afresh? So that is kind of the sportive spirit the person has shown. He understood that he has made a mistake, but he did not give up over there. And the person has actually told that the interviewer was pretty much impressed. Okay, how the person was agile to start afresh when he realized his mistake himself. So having that presence of mind throughout your interview will help you a lot. So I think the major points are the confidence, communication skills, industry knowledge, and having that presence of mind throughout the interview will help you ace consult interviews or any management interviews in general. Yeah, I think even these things, using stories or tell about yourself. Yeah, I think every interview starts with your introduction. So that is something you shouldn't mess up at any cost. You must be confident with your own introduction. So have that like really well prepared. And Soumyajit pretty much helped you all with the HR questions, how to answer about your strengths, weaknesses, and all. And be very confident with your CV, every project that is there on your CV, every internship that is there on your CV, and every point of your POs and all. but try to use small stories in between whatever you have done during your internship or certain position of responsibility, how you have handled certain things and all. These are all the tricks to keep the interviewer engaged or just to showcase your communication skills and all. Yeah, I think that's pretty much about that.
Uh, Thank you,
Yeah,
Devaki,
I
for
just
those.
1 minute. So
Okay, okay,
I'd just
sure.
like to add two, three tips here.
Hmm.
So this is about the on-campus interview. Okay, about the CDC interview. Okay, so try to enter in the interview hall fast, like as early as possible. Okay, so let's say there are 10 students, and try to enter in the top 5 or so. Okay, because the ordering actually matters in SD or quant these roles. Because if the company sees that, okay, this I am liking this student, okay, he came first, so they try to confirm them, because that student may go to some other company and some other company can give him the offer first. So if you know the process, if one student get the offer first, he will be locked at that position, he cannot sit in any other uh, company. So try to fix your interview at the beginning only. Okay, and contact with the place comms like each and every time. Okay, let's say if you are having interview in other company, let the place com know. Okay, they will help you. Okay, I saw many students that they don't talk to the place comms. Okay, but that is not the right approach. Talk to them. Okay, after finishing an interview, ask them that am I selected for the second interview, what the company people are doing. So what happens is that if a company is liking your like skills and everything, so they will fix all your interview one after another. Let's say continue, you get 3 interview and you get the offer. That is a common thing we see a lot of time. Okay, because the company also sees that, okay, his first round is over and he's a good student, let's call him right now only, because he should not go to any other place. Okay, so if that is the case, you are getting like continuously in your company, that is a good sign. Okay, so yeah, and keep in touch with the place comms. Yeah, these are the things I want to add.
Thank you, panelists, for those crucial details and insights. Moving ahead, I request our panelists to guide our Janta about the basic screening process for selection in companies. Soumyajit, would you like to go ahead?
Okay. So I think it's quite clear to you. So first there will be CV shortlisting. As I told you, some CV keywords, or there may be some CG shortlisting, okay, or department shortlisting. Those things will be there. After that, those who are shortlisted, they will be asked for a test. In the test, there may be coding questions for SD, or there are some MCQ questions for machine learning and deep learning. There are some aptitude questions like, those puzzles kind of thing, and those like reasoning and aptitude questions. Typically what happens, okay, uh, if you pass those exam, then you are asked for the technical interview. Okay, there is no group discussion for SD or quant or data analytics, those profiles. You go to the technical round on your day 1 or day 2 or day 3, whatever. Okay, then usually there are 3 to 4 round of interview, like including the HR interview. So other than the HR interview, there will be 2 round or 3 round. Okay, after that there will be the HR interview, and most of the case the HR interview is of just a casual interview. Okay, for SD roles or these roles, because that actually does not matter. So if you're going to the HR interview, actually you got the offer. That's why you are going. That is just a formality. That is the typical line for these things. Yeah.
Thank you, Soumyajit. Devaki, would you like to add any insights to this?
Yeah, so I think for the consult, it works a bit different. So the first round will be like CV submission and CV shortlisting. So once they release the people who are shortlisted based on their CV, as I have previously mentioned, for consult, CV is your token for your interviews or the ticket for your interviews. So you need to have a really impressive CV to make that cut in the CV shortlist, which is really crucial for consult profiles. So after that, your buddy rounds will start. Buddies are someone from the firm. So at BCG, when I had my buddy rounds, both my buddies are from KGP itself. So, they were from KGP. So both of them, so buddies are basically people who are working at BCG, And luckily, both of my buddies were alumni of KGP itself. So was the case with most of the other shortlisted people. Both of their buddies are alumni of KGP. For some people, it may be non-KGPians as well. Buddy rounds will be evaluative sometimes or sometimes non-evaluative. Especially last year, it was non-evaluative. So buddies will help you understand the company, how the company works, or what are the major sectors in which the company is currently working, what are the work culture or the timings or the lifestyle at the company. Everything the buddies is a kind of insider from the company who will help you understand the firm. At the same time, buddy will also help you the expectations from you, like what you will be asked during your interviews. Is it only puzzles, guesstimates, and cases, or you will be asked any kind of HR questions and all? So buddies will help you how your rounds are going to be, how many interview rounds, or when is the interview. So buddies will help you with the interview processes as well. They will give you the idea, and they will tell you clearly what is the expectation from you, what they are expecting from you. At the same time, buddies also will help you in your preparation. They will help you in your case preparation. They will take your cases, they'll make you do guesstimates and all. So this, after this buddy round, you'll have the final D day, that is the interview day, where you'll typically have, as Soumyajit mentioned, like if you are clearing the rounds quickly, like you will be moved to the rounds. So at consult firms, you do have this first round with a project leader PL round. After you clear that, you will be immediately moved to a principal round. Once you clear that, you will be immediately moved to the partner round. If you clear that, immediately your offer will be rolled out. So that is in general the process at consult firms. I think Communiqué do have a lot of blogs on the process of consult interviews and all, with the name CQ Consult Talks. Yeah, I think that will also give a fair idea about the processes at consult firms.
Thank you, Devki, for your valuable advice. So, as CDC is a very important part to give a head start to one's career, it brings with it a lot of tension among the preparing students. So, panelists, can you give some tips to our Janta on handling the CDC stress? Devki, would you like to begin?
Okay, so this is like pretty common scenario with KGPMs when CDC process is approaching. When you're having the day one nearby, you will have that tension because the CV deadlines and all will be near. I think for this CDC thing, Soumyajit can guide the Janta better, because in my personal case, I haven't appeared for even CDC internships and CDC placements, though I have seen my friends very near, because like my internships and placement was also BCG. So conducted their process off campus last year. So, but still, like we do have this thing on campus that people like think that CDC is everything, but you need not like worry a lot about CDC process and all. Just be chill, give your best, prepare well. As throughout this session we have been telling that be thorough with your preparation, be thorough with your CV, be thorough with your HR prep, or whatever the puzzles and all you do, everything, be thorough with everything. So be value with your prep, give your best shot on whatever day one, day two and all. Even if you're not getting into it, yeah, I think this workshop has given a fair idea about all the off campus opportunities. So CDC is not just the only thing. You have the doors and windows wide open into a much bigger world. But it is, as the word says, it is a bigger world. It will be kind of tough for you to find the right opportunity, but you have a lot of opportunities outside those doors and windows. You just need to move outside those windows and doors. You need to explore the world, get your right opportunities. You do have beautiful opportunities in the world outside. So just chill, but one thing that I would add is have that timeline or regular targets for yourself and keep working regularly to have that progress or to improve your efficiency. That will help you. Just be stress free. The bus peace is something in KGP lingo. सब हो जाएगा.
So, thank you, Devaki. Soumyajit, would you like to add anything?
Yeah. So this is like a pretty like interesting question. So this is very natural. You will be very much stressed. Okay, you will have fear while the interview. You'll be selected or not, and many more things. The schedule will be very much packed, right? You have 2 3 exams on the same day, and that will continue for 1 or 1.5 months, right? So that is pretty common. So one advice I can give you, that make good friends. Okay, have some friends who are sitting with you in the CDC process, and have some friends who are not sitting this year CDC. That is also important. You know why? I'll tell you. So for the exams and everything, for the mails what is coming, for those things, you need the students who are giving the CDC. But the maximum stress comes when, let's say, your friends are getting the offers but you are not getting the offer. That time it is really a very bad situation. Okay, that time you cannot talk to, you will not have the interest to talk to those friends who got the offer, because that is a awkward situation. Okay, and he uh, may not have the sympathy to talk to you also. Okay, usually they got the offer and people start chilling. Okay, usually that is the case. So have some friends, either who will sit next year. If you are a 4 year student, talk to, they have some friends who are 5 year students. Okay, those things. Okay, and if as this is the internship, that is a good news, because the placement is yet to be there. Okay, you are fighting for the internships. Okay, that will definitely help you in the placement, because the process is more or less the same. Okay, so if it is so many students take it like that. Okay, so I will not sit for the internship, I will not take it that much. Yeah, I will take it casually. Okay, because it is not the placement. I will get some project here and there with some professor. Yeah, that is true. If you don't get from CDC, you can have, you can already always apply some professor and get some summer project. Okay, but give your 100% here also. That will help you in placement, so you will not be in a bad situation in placement. Otherwise the stress of placement will be much higher than this internship. Okay, so yeah, that those are the few things. Okay, so if you mess up in the internships also, you have the placement, keep in mind, and don't panic. Okay, if you panic, your performance will go down only. So you have to keep your mind calm. Yeah.
Thank you, panelists, for those excellent suggestions. This will surely help our audience handle the stress that comes before the internships. With everyone preparing hard for CDC, there is a possibility that one may fail to get an internship. So, panelists, what would be your advice to them? Swamijit, would you like to start?
Yeah, so already discuss about those off-campus opportunities, right? In HD roles, those referrals, and every other kind of thing. Try those things. Okay. Uh, Otherwise, try in some university under some professors. Usually, they provide you, like, that is the last option. Like in Kharagpur, also some professor will give you, or some foreign university, some remote project that will also like be there. Like you have to do this compulsory internship, right? That will work there also. Okay, those are the things you can do.
Yeah, I think for this question, I have also answered that you just need to step out and start exploring the options. You will find the right option sooner or later, here or there, but just be patient and you will find the opportunity. And again, like other point to add here is internships are not just everything. You can have projects, self projects, or work in some startup roles. Everything will count. So that is because I have seen many people being stressed out a lot for internships. Like if they are not getting on campus internship, people are very stressed out to bag an off campus internship. For people, like even after cold mailing or applying on multiple job positions on LinkedIn, Internshala, it is not working, they are not getting offer, they are stressed out, you need not stress out a lot regarding your internship. As Somjit mentioned, you can do your compulsory internship anywhere. If not in any firm, you can do a project simply under a prop, but be focused on your placements. So why we say or like focus a lot about internships or projects is it will help you explore different fields. If you do an internship in say ML, data science, or consult internship or product internship, that will give you a basic essence of the workplace, will help you understand how the profile is going to look like and all. That will help you decide your profile in a much better way with a much better understanding. Even if you don't have an internship or project, but if you're still clear कि मेरे को यही करना है, so just be focused with that, do your placement prep well, and you do have like really lot of good placement opportunities at IIT Kharagpur. So don't be really stressed out for internship opportunities. It is not actually everything. Keep yourself upskilled, like do courses regularly or do projects regularly, keep yourself engaged in some academic things, extra academic things, career oriented things. I think these three are the major tracks. Yeah, these are the courses, these are the platforms from which you can do courses. Coursera, NPTEL, Udemy, Upgrade also have like really good courses and all. You can do the courses and keep regularly upgrading yourself or upskilling yourself. Apart from that, keep doing some projects, so that will help you a lot. And I think the other thing that I was saying is three major tracks. This is for the general KGP funders, you need to be like decent with your academics, decent CGPA, and good with your extra academics. Have some extra academic engagement, which will help you make friends or like having that confidence to speak in the public and all. And then corporate exposure, which is like internships and projects. Maintain a perfect balance among these three, like keep yourself continuously engaged with something. I think that keeps you quite stress free.
Thank you, panelists, for your motivating words. Now it's time to take up questions from the audience. So, audience, if anyone has any queries, please write it in the chat box.
So in between,
That's
another
pretty
thing I would
great.
like
We
to
don't
add
have much questions.
is, yeah, just
Yes,
one
Amjad,
thing I
go
would like
ahead
to
and
add,
add.
that if you are not getting the internships or if you are getting the internships, do not stop the coding. Okay, because coding actually comes from practice. If you are not, you have stopped coding for 2 months, believe me, you will not be able to solve the simple questions that you were fluent about. Okay, so keep in touch with coding up until the placement. Yeah, at least.
At KGP, the other way to keep yourself really stress free from all this internship and all things is keeping yourself busy with the activities, I feel. So as long as you told, one can keep themselves busy with coding, then you do have these classes, labs, or writing lab reports, and then people have this NCC, NSS, NSO, or you do have these hall activities, ILU, or then in the spring semester you have spring fest, Kshitij, or the holidays. One thing or the other, you'll be continuously busy. But at the same time, you need to take out certain time for your off campus applications and all. I think this webinar was mostly focused on that part also in the very beginning, how to ace an off campus internship and all.
Thank you very much. Audience chat box is open. You can post your queries.
I think meanwhile we can have something that I wanted to add at a certain point of this entire workshop. So that is, in many interviews you face this question at the end that, do you have any questions for us? And many people feel that like that can have importance in many interviews. So I'll add the consult or management perspective to this question. And I think Soumyajit will help us in getting the perspective from software. In consult interviews, especially when the interviewer asks you, like, do you have any questions for me? At least I'll tell you a story from my final round at BCG. So after my final round, I thought that I pretty much messed up the round because that was a really tough question which interviewer had asked me. He just started the interview in a very chill mode. He was the managing director and partner at the firm. He was like, बीच बीच में he's like मोटा मोटी आंसर बता, like ये क्या होता है मोटा मोटी आंसर बताओ. How can I, because interviews will put that pressure on you. They just want you to break out. He just wanted me ki okay, like मैं इतना pressure करूं कि she will just break out and she'll say some random answer from her mouth. He was constantly pushing me. Okay Devki, you're going good, so tell me, like, from your calculation mota moti number batao. I was still doing my calculation and he was just asking me, mota moti number batao, jaldi batao. But still, I was like, okay, I'm just doing this. I was just keeping him engaged. I'm in between my calculation. I'm doing this calculation. This is the answer I got. I think the rough answer would be around this. And then I felt like that was like really tough and unconventional case which he asked me. I thought that I messed up. And he asked like the same case to people, other people as well. But at the end of the interview, when he asked me, okay, any other questions for me, I asked him, ki, which field are you or which industry are you working in? Because in consult, like people work with different industries. So interestingly, he told me that he is working with one of the major steel clients, so steel industry clients of BCG in India. So I have just asked him, since I hail from geology department, I asked him ki, what are the challenges that he face in the steel industry. And I remember reading one of the FinShorts blogs some days ago that Indian government is going to pose some regulations on steel industry. I just added that snippet over there. So I said, so dear interviewer, I heard that for every ton of steel that is manufactured, so 1.3 ton of carbon dioxide gets released into the environment. So government of India is trying to have some regulations on steel industry. And then we just had a really great after conversation. So I still remember the last round was hardly 20 minutes case interview, and 20 minutes we had this after interview session. So where I asked him about steel industry, I told him that IIT Kharagpur, there is a professor who works on the steel-free constructions, because steel is majorly used in constructions. And if you see all these security booths which we have in front of every hall, right, where that gate ka dada sits, all these booths are steel free construction. We don't have any steel in that. And that is a project developed by a professor of IIT Kharagpur. And I also know that currently he has a patent for only one floor, and that professor is working on two storage steel buildings. I added all these points with which he was pretty much impressed. And then he asked me the other things about my college life and all. So that's how the interview ended really well from a bad note. uh, so yeah, I think this is some general questions, or how your industry knowledge will help you ace that question of any questions for me at the end of consult interviews.
Thank you, Devki. That was really insightful. We have one question from the audience. Uh, this is asked by Ankit. He's asking how to explore your interest. Should we give 2 to 3 months for different areas? Okay, Soumyajit, anyone would like to take up the question?
Uh, yeah, I would like to answer the question and also add something to Devaki's point. Uh, so first, like Devaki talked about the questions that uh, it is everywhere asked. Okay, at the end of the interview, that do you have any question for us? And that is pretty important thing actually, and we missed that in the thing. So some few questions like that will be asked after each round. Okay, and some common questions in SD maybe, okay, what are the framework that you are working on, what type of project are you building, okay. And so I will also explain you one of my situations. So this happened in uh, there Square Point. Okay, I was giving the interview for the SD role. Okay, and it happened that so there are few time left to end the interview. The time was like my interview actually ended early. So we were just randomly talking. I asked him that what are you working on? He told me, okay, I'm working on Python, this and that thing, and he started explaining me many things. I also found interest and questioning about different things. So it is like kind of like I was also asking, okay, where is your office? Where how is the environment there? And many informal talks were going on. Okay, so that is a good sign. Okay, if you are getting friendly with the interviewer, that is the best thing. Okay, and at least he will give you a positive marks in that interview, that you can be sure. Okay, that is a big plus point. Another is that, yeah, about the questions. Okay, so how would you explore? So if you are in your first year or second year, so often I have seen that you do not need to consciously put some effort. Okay, so in Kharagpur, so there is this vast opportunity available. Okay, in cities you have this coding contest, case studies. Okay, there will be some friend of yours will come to you and say that, okay, I'm participating in this case study, would you like to come with me? Or in this hackathon, would you like to come with me? Or I'm going the selection of this society, come, let's do together. Just like participate in those events, that is enough, and get the flavor of each and every profiles. Okay, you like don't need to divide those 2 3 months for different things. Just be conscious and participate in wherever you can.
Yeah, adding my 2 cents to it, I think nowadays we have got a lot of these virtual experience programs and all, which will, like, if you are really not having time at hand, because time is everything. If you are in your first year, you can surely give 2 to 3 months. You can explore, like, after doing some machine learning course, you can try for an intern in ML or explore the field of data science and all. You will have time at hand to give to every area if you're in your first or second year. If you're in your third or fourth year, you will not actually have a lot of time at hand. Now that college is being like completely offline, classes, labs, and all will not actually allow you to do a full-time offline internship and all, or even remote internships can become difficult at times. So you can try to do these winter internships and explore the fields of, like, especially management. You can do some product intern, or if you are willing to explore the VC firms, investments, investment banking, and all, like, you can try to explore all this through your internships or the virtual experience programs or the competitions. So many competitions you do have, like, especially for the VC firms, you need to prepare the pitch decks or the investment decks, which will help you explore the field. So it is not mandatorily 2 to 3 months are required to explore different areas. It depends. Certain areas do require a lot of time you need to give in, but certain areas can be easily explored without actually giving much time into it. Yeah.
Thank you, panelists. I think that clears all your doubts. So, if there's no more questions from the side of audience, we could go on to wrap up this panel discussion. Now, as we come to the end of today's panel discussion, I would like to thank all our esteemed panelists for sparing their precious time today for guiding us through this discussion and also sharing their experiences and giving us valuable insights. I hope this discussion will surely benefit the students for the CV building and application of internships. Thank you very much.
We also extend our heartfelt gratitude to our amazing Janta for making this session a truly captivating and dynamic experience. Your enthusiastic participation has made it a great experience. As we conclude this session, we bid you farewell and encourage you to carry the valuable insights gained here into your future endeavors. Until we meet again, we wish you a wonderful day filled with endless possibilities. Thank you.